welcome back. Today is Thursday, November the 12th, 2020, and today I'm going to give a video about my journey with Wegener's Granulomatosis. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Betsy, and I have a very rare autoimmune disease called Wegener's Granulomatosis. It's also called GPA vasculitis. It is a form of vasculitis, and for me, it started out with my kidneys, my lungs. It has moved into my bones, my joints, and my muscles, and my legs, my hips, and my knees, and my feet. Also, my right eye, I'm developing cyst behind it. But so far, it's not affecting my vision, so that's good. And as far as the other stuff goes, you know, you learn to live with it. But anyhow, I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory. So if you've watched my channel, you know any of this, I will link down below. I will let you know where you can fast forward to, so you can kind of skip this part if you want. But I was diagnosed almost 2 years ago. I started out with what I thought was an upper respiratory infection. That's what the doctors were treating me for. About 3.5 weeks after I first started getting sick, I took myself, or my ex-husband took me to the emergency room because I knew something was seriously wrong with me and nothing was helping. I'd been to the doctor twice, given a science cocktail shot, and put on an antibiotic the second time, and I was not improving. So I was admitted in kidney failure, and life as I knew it changed. But anyhow, I will be doing another update video on November the 27th, which is the day after Thanksgiving, which is also marks the 2-year anniversary of my diagnosis. So anyhow, I was diagnosed November the 27th. The very beginning of March, I was told by my nephrologist that I was in remission, and so I thought life would go back to what it was. I thought I was going to be able to quit doing chemotherapy. I thought I'd be off all my medications, but no, that's not what happened. So I'm going to talk about what it's like to be in remission with this autoimmune disease. Now, I am taking this information from one of my fellow Weggies. She is on my Wegener's Granulomatosis support group. It's a tongue tie or tongue twister. But anyhow, I'm going to link down below the Facebook groups that I belong to, so you can check those out. If you have Wegener's, they're a wealth of information. If you're the caregiver or love or care for somebody who's got Wegener's, it is a great source of information. Great group of people. I'm going to link all the groups I belong to, but the first one is the main group I participate in. I'm also an admin on that group. So anyhow, this is from Catherine, and she did give me permission to share this, so I'm going to read this. So please apologize for me looking down at you. Remission is a term we took from oncology. It doesn't exactly fit. In oncology, it means cancer is gone, no signs of cancer, the body isn't making cancer, and you don't have to treat the cancer. In GPA, or Wegener's, the treatments are getting better, and some are able to suppress their immune system for long periods of time while eliminating all specific GPA medications. Little sidebar, I am not one of those. I have been on prednisone for almost 2 years, and my nephrologist said because of the aggressive nature of mine, I will likely be on prednisone the rest of my life. That is what helped put me in remission, or I guess what they're calling remission. But anyways, a little sidebar. Back to that. But this tends to be the exception instead of the rule, because there is no cure for GPA. There is no known cause, and there is no known cure for Wegener's. And your body still has an autoimmune tendency to want to attack itself. I joke all the time, my body is trying to kill itself. You know, the only thing tough enough to kick my ass is myself. That really is the truth. And the malfunction is still there. Doctors use quiet or stable because of the tendency is still there smoldering, and that's what she said her doctors use. And I think that's a really, really perfect way of explaining it. Remission does not mean you go back to pre-illness state. Remission does not mean you can stop follow-ups or let your guard down with symptoms. Everyone talks about your new normal, and I've talked about that many, many times in these videos. And there's some truth to that. There's still fatigue and aches and pains, and every cold I get ends up as bronchitis, if not pneumonia, which is not, thankfully, my case. I've had a couple of pretty bad colds, but they've not rusted into my chest, thankfully. If I overdo it today, I may not be able to do anything tomorrow. Keep track of those things. Let your doctor know and learn patterns. Keep track of your spoons. I'm going to do a video one of these days on the Spoonie theory, but I'm not going to do one now. If you want to learn about it, I will link an article down below, and I will also link a video explaining the color-coded chart of having a chronic and invisible illness. As good as it feels emotionally to be told you're in remission, and believe me, that is a wonderful feeling, it's a major hit when they take that away and you're not. I advise not chasing the magical state of remission because it doesn't or shouldn't change how you're taking good care of yourself. It also shouldn't change the way you're living your life to the fullest you can. Other than surgery, I don't wait until they say you're in remission to do things you want in life. It gets hard at times, but you can do this. The doctors diagnosed her in 2002, and she's still taking 5 milligrams of prednisone a day. So she's had this monster for 18 years and still is on prednisone every day. All right, when I was diagnosed and told I was in remission, my doctor told me, and it was my nephrologist, my kidney doctor, that because I was able to go off dialysis, I was on dialysis for just short of 90 days, that they considered me to be in remission. Now, I thought, I'm going to be able to quit the chemo I was on, and I was going to be able to quit all my medications. And he looked at me. He didn't laugh, but I'm pretty sure he's probably laughing on the inside, and said, no, you have to continue that. And because of the aggressive nature, that's why you have to do this. Not everybody has chemotherapy. There's all different kinds of treatments. The disease is so weird. I mean, we all have it in my group, or all of us who have it in my group have such different symptoms and different treatment plans and different ways we've responded. It's just a bizarre disease. I mean, it really is. It's, like I said, it's very rare. Approximately 3 people for every 100,000 people have it. So, we are kind of unicorns. We're very rare. But also, I thought, I'm going to go into remission. Oh, wow, I'm going to go back to what I was doing. I'll be able to go back to work. I'll be able to do all the things I used to do. But that, unfortunately, is not the case. I realize I don't look sick. I've got a fat face. But that's prednisone face, I call it the Bobby Hill face. But, I generally speaking, looking at me, you wouldn't know I was sick with anything. But it's not the inside of me. It's not the outside of me that's sick. It's inside. Like I said, my body is literally trying to kill itself. But anyhow, I thought, I'm going to feel good. And, I'm not going to be tired like I was, but I still am incredibly tired all the time. I live in a perpetual state of exhaustion. The best I can equate it to, and I've said this before in videos, is either if you feel like you ran a marathon, you're so incredibly tired. That's how I feel most of the time. Or if you had the flu, that's really a good one because most people can relate. How you kind of achy and pained and just really tired and don't have a lot of energy. That's pretty much how I feel all the time. I've learned to live with it. You learn to push through those days. There are days that I don't do a whole lot. There's days that I feel pretty active. It varies from day to day. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. I use this as a good example. A few weeks ago, I was on Sunday. I went to get some groceries, and I wanted to stop at Joann's because I wanted to get some fabric because I'm making some Christmas gifts, and I wanted to get some fabric that was on sale. So I went to Joann's, and I was going to go to Sam's afterwards. I wanted to schedule a pickup, which is what I usually do, but it was too late to get a pickup scheduled for that day. So I went ahead and just went over there, and I thought, I'm just going to go in and get what I need. And by the time I got it done at Joann's, which was like a 15-minute trip, you know, I went in there, found what I needed, had fabric cut, you know, whatever. Looked around a little bit. I looked over at Sam's, which was right next door, and the thought of walking around Sam's made me want to cry. Because at that point, not only was I exhausted, but I hurt. It was very cold and very damp, and when it gets like that, it makes it 10 times worse for me. And it just goes into my bones and my joints and my muscles, and I ache. It's just a really intense pain. So I went ahead and went to Kroger because I had to go to Kroger and I had to get what I needed. And normally when I go to Kroger, I like to kind of browse and kind of look around, see what I can find. I was on a mission. I was in and out of there in probably 15 minutes, which is not normal for me because I can spend anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour just wandering around Kroger. And the thought of wandering around again wanted to make me sick. And, you know, it was like I could see the checkout line, and just thinking about walking to the checkout line was like looking at the tape at the end of a marathon. I was like, I'm never going to get there, you know. Thankfully that day I was able to get in and out quickly. They checked me out fast, so I didn't have to wait, because a lot of times waiting, it causes me pain. If I'm moving, it's not so bad, but when I stand still, it'll settle in my hips, and so then I'm doing what looks like the pee-pee dance because I'm, you know, shifting my weight from one leg to the other, back and forth. It looks like I'm fidgeting. I'm not. I'm trying to get comfortable. And the next day was hell. I hurt so bad that night that my husband and I went out for dinner, and we socially distanced. And when we were leaving, I started crying because I hurt so bad. And, you know, it takes a lot for me to get to that point to cry over pain. I have an incredibly high threshold for pain. I've joked about that for years. My firstborn weighed 10.5 pounds, and I had her natural. Another story, another day. Anyways, so I have a super high threshold for pain, but sometimes I just get to that point where it's just so incredibly awful. And then, you know, you get the physical, and then you get the mental part. And that's usually when I have my breakdowns, is when I'm physically hurting, but I'm mentally hurting as well. So it gets to that point sometimes, and it's just awful. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I don't want to, you know, make it sound like everything is rainbows and butterflies in my world, because it's not. But most days, you know, it's a good day. And even on my very worst days, I try to find something good. And there have been days the only thing I found good in that entire day was the fact that I woke up that day. But you know what? Tomorrow's another day. That's what I tell myself. And the next day after that, I rested. And then I rested the day after that. And sometimes when I do busy work like that, I may have to rest for 2 or 3 days. And sometimes I'm okay. Sometimes I don't do much of anything and I'm just exhausted and I have to rest. There really is no rhyme. There's no reason. I wish I knew. I wish I had a calendar that would say, okay, on Tuesday the 10th, you're going to feel like crap. But on Thursday the 12th, you're going to feel great. It's not like that. I never know. And I could start out feeling really good in the morning and by night feel like I've been ran over by a Mack truck. And vice versa. I may start out feeling like crap, and as the day goes on, I may get like a second wind and feel better. I just don't know. None of us do. So anyhow, I guess I've rambled on long enough. I really just wanted to share those two things really about remission and how it's not remission like we think of remission, and that it's okay to have bad days. It's okay to get upset. It's okay to cry. It's okay to vent, rant, you know, be angry. It's okay. These are normal emotions. But what is not okay, it's never okay to give up. And I've been to that brink of wanting to give up twice. And I just could not bring myself to give up. And one last thing is I'm doing a daily thankfulness post on Facebook. I've done this every year for years, for the month of November. And today I'm thankful that I am #BettyBadass. That I am a badass. I am tough and I'm a fighter. And I realize someday this disease will likely kill me, but I'm not going down without a fight. I get up every single day to fight this demon. in my life. And I encourage you to do the same, whether it's Wegener's or any other kind of illness, mental or physical. You're bad, you're tough, and you can beat it. You're bad, you're a badass. Everybody has a badass in them. And sometimes it takes something drastic for this to come out. But you know what? It's going to be okay. All right, I think that's about it for now. All right, I have rambled on way long enough. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me in the future, hit that subscribe button down below. I am trying really hard to get on a regular schedule. Hopefully maybe after the first of the year. We'll see. But anyhow, I think that's about it for now. Leave a comment down below if you'd like. Any sort of interaction with me is great. My channel is definitely growing, and I'd sure like to keep the momentum up. Be sure to share this video with others, and don't forget that not every day is good, but there's absolutely always something good in every day, and I will see you next time.